The Japanese aircraft carrier Unryū was the lead ship of her class of fleet aircraft carriers built for the Imperial Japanese Navy during World War II. She was commissioned in mid-1944, but fuel and aircrew shortages limited her use to Japanese waters. The impending American invasion of Luzon caused the IJN to order her to transport aircraft and supplies to the Philippines in December. The ship was torpedoed and sunk by the American submarine Redfish in the East China Sea during the voyage. Design and description. The last purpose-built Japanese carrier construction during World War II was a group of vessels based on an improved Unryū design, but with individual units differing in detail reflecting the changing circumstances as the conflict in the Pacific approached its conclusion. Unryū was ordered, under the provisional name of No. 302, as part of the Rapid Naval Armaments Supplement Program of 1941. The ship was one of 16 Unryū-class aircraft carriers planned, although only 3 were completed before the end of the war. Unryū had a length of 227.35 meters overall. She had a beam of 22 meters and a draft of 8.73 meters. She displaced 20,450 metric tons. Her crew consisted of 1,595 officers and men. The ship used the same turbines and boilers as used in the heavy cruiser Suzuya. These consisted of 4 geared steam turbine sets with a total of 152,000 shaft horsepower, each driving one shaft, using steam provided by 8 Campon Type B water tube boilers. The ship had a designed speed of 34 knots. Unryū carried 3,670 metric tons of fuel oil, which gave her a range of 8,000 nautical miles at 18 knots. She had 2 funnels on the starboard side, each angled below the horizontal. They were fitted with a water cooling system to reduce the turbulence caused by hot exhaust gases. Flight deck arrangements. Unryū's flight deck was 216.9 meters long and had a maximum width of 27 meters. A small island was mounted well forward on the starboard side and contained the ship's bridge and air operations control center. It was fitted with a small tripod mast that mounted one of the ship's radar antennas. The ship was designed with 2 superimposed hangars that were served by 2 aircraft elevators, each 14 by 14 meters. The center elevator as used in Unryū was deleted to simplify construction and reduce stress in the hull. The elevators had a maximum capacity of 7,000 kilograms and took 19 seconds to go from the lower hangar to the flight deck. Unryū was fitted with hydraulically operated Type 3 arresting gear with 9 cables. She also mounted 3 Type 3 crash barricades. No aircraft catapult was fitted. The ship mounted a retractable crane on the starboard side of the flight deck, just aft of the rear elevator. Unryū carried 397,340 liters of aviation gasoline for her aircraft. The ship's air group was originally intended to consist of 12 Mitsubishi A6M0 fighters, plus 3 in storage, 27 Aichi D-3A Val dive bombers, plus 3 in reserve, and 18 Nakajima B-5N Kate torpedo bombers plus 2 in crates. Amiga's hangars could not accommodate so many aircraft, so 11 planes were planned to be permanently carried on the flight deck. In 1943 the air group was revised to consist of 18 Mitsubishi A7M SAM fighters, 27 Yokosuka D-4Y Judy dive bombers and 6 Nakajima C-6N MERT reconnaissance aircraft. Of these, the C-6Ns were intended to be carried on the flight deck. When the ship commissioned in 1944, neither the A7M nor the C-6Ns were yet in service, so the air group was reconfigured to consist of 27 Zeros, 12 D-4Ys, 3 of which were to be the reconnaissance version, and 9 Nakajima B-6N Jill torpedo bombers. By this time, however, the shortage of carrier-qualified aircrew was such that they were ordered to operate from shore bases, and Unryū never embarked her full air group. Armament and sensors. Unryū's waterline armored belt was 46 mm thick over her machinery spaces, but this increased to 140 mm over her magazines. Her deck armor above the machinery was 25 mm thick, but the armor above the magazines was 56 mm thick. The ship's primary armament consisted of a dozen 40-caliber 12.7 cm Type 89 anti-aircraft guns in twin mounts on sponsons on the ship's sides. Unryū was initially equipped with 16 triple 25 mm Type 96 and 3 single Type 96 AA gun mounts, most on sponsons along the sides of the hull. These guns were supplemented by 6 28-round AA rocket launchers. Shortly after completion, another 4 triple and 13 single 25 mm mounts were added. For defense against submarines, the carrier was fitted with 6 depth charge throwers and carried between 6 and 10 depth charges for them. A Type 3 sonar and a Type 93 hydrophone were fitted to detect other submarines. 2 Type 94 high-angle fire control directors, one on each side of the ship, were fitted to control the Type 89 guns. Each director mounted a 4.5-meter rangefinder. 6 Type 95 directors controlled the 25 mm guns and the 12 cm rocket launches. Early warning was provided by 2 Type 2 Mark Chapter 2, Model 1 air search radars. One of these was mounted on the top of the island while the other retracted into the port side of the flight deck, between the 2 elevators. In addition, Unryū had 2 smaller Type 3 Mark Chapter 1, Model 3 early warning radars, one mounted on the tripod mast on the island and the other on the starboard aft retractable radio mast. Construction and career. Unryū was laid down at Yokosuka Naval Arsenal on 1 August 1942 and launched on 25 September 1943. Upon commissioning on 6 August 1944, she was assigned to the 3rd Fleet. She underwent shakedown and trials within Tokyo Bay through mid-September, and was then transferred to Kure Naval District, from which she made numerous training runs around the Seitu Inland Sea until December. From 30 October to 7 November, she served briefly as the flagship of Vice Admiral Jisaburo Ozawa's Mobile Fleet. 8 days later, the Mobile Fleet was disbanded and the ship was transferred to Carrier Division 1. Later that month, some A6Ms and B6Ns were embarked. Final voyage on 13 December 1944. 30 Yokosuka MXY-70K kamikaze rocket planes were loaded aboard Unryū for transport to Manila in the Philippines. 4 days later, on 17 December 1944, Unryū departed Kure, Hiroshima escorted by the destroyers Shiguri, Hinoki, and Momi under the overall command of Captain Konishi. Her maiden sea voyage was a vain attempt to reinforce the garrison on the island of Luzon just prior to the Allied landings there. On 19 December 1944, Unryū was torpedoed and sunk by the submarine US Redfish. Redfish fired 4 torpedoes, one of which hit directly under the carrier's bridge on the starboard side at 16:35. The hit stopped the vessel dead in the water as it severed the main steam line, flooded 2 boiler rooms, started several fires and gave the ship a 3-degree list. Just as the carrier began to get underway, another torpedo struck at 16:50 on the starboard side abreast the forward elevator and the highly volatile forward aviation gasoline tanks. The resulting explosion caused the warheads of the OK kamikaze planes stored on the lower hangar deck to detonate and essentially blew the bow off. The ship listed to 30 degrees very quickly and the order to abandon ship was given. With a 90-degree list, the ship sank bow first to the bed of the East China Sea in just 7 minutes at position 29 degrees 59, N 124 degrees 03, E 29.983 degrees north, 124.050 degrees east, 29.983. 124.050. Casualties were very heavy with 1,238 officers, crewmen and passengers losing their lives. Only 145 men survived to be rescued by Shiguri, which returned to Sasebo, Nagasaki on the 22nd of December. Unryū was struck from the Navy list on the 20th of February 1945. Bibliography. Chesno, Roger, ed. Conway's All the World's Fighting Ships 1922–1946. Greenwich. Conway Maritime Press. ISBN 0-85177-146-7. Gensura, Hans George, Young, Dieter and Mikkel, Peter. Warships of the Imperial Japanese Navy, 1869–1945. Annapolis, Maryland. United States Naval Institute. ISBN 0-87021-893-X. Lengerer, Hans. Illustrated Record of the Transition of the Superstructures of BB Congo Class. Introduction to CV Unryū Class. Katowice, Poland. Model Hobby. ISBN 978-83-60041-42-0. Lengerer, Hans. Katsuraja and the Failure of Mass Production of Medium-Sized Aircraft Carriers. In Jordan, John. Warship 2010. London. Conway. pp. 103–21. ISBN 978-1-84486-110-1. Silverstone, Paul H. Directory of the World's Capital Ships. New York. Hippocrene Books. ISBN 0-88254-979-0. Stiller, Mark. Imperial Japanese Navy Aircraft Carriers 1921–1945. New Vanguard 109. Oxford, UK. Osprey Publishing. ISBN 1-84176-853-7. Warships of the Imperial Japanese Navy. Shokaku Class, Soru, Hiryu. Unryū Class, Taiho. Koyansha 6. Tully, Anthony P. IJN Unryū. Tabular Record of Movement. Kido-Butai. CombinedFleet.com. Retrieved 21 November 2015. Tully, Anthony P. Star-Crossed Sortie. The Last Voyage of Unryū and Isdio 52. Mysteries, Untold Sagas of the Imperial Japanese Navy. CombinedFleet.com. Retrieved 21 November 2015.